wake up. Don't wake me up. Not dreaming. Don't wake me up. I'm not dreaming. Past life could have never come between us. Sometimes the dreamers finally wake up. Don't wake me. I'm not dreaming. Don't wake me, I'm not dreaming. Past life, you only need to wake up. Don't wake me, I'm not dreaming. Don't wake me, I'm not dreaming. I'm gonna smoke a cigarette. But I've been feeling better, man. Let's get the flash on. I will not be able to see who comes into the live. We're just gonna have a heart-to-heart very quickly. I've been seeing the same repeat over again today. 0133. Don't wake me, I'm not dreaming. Don't wake me, I'm not dreaming. I'm just setting up the camera. I don't care who watches. Let's fucking go, bitch. Come on. I don't want it to break or fall. Oh shit. There's no good place to push it. So let's make it quick. Yep, so I'm the highest form of empath possible. When people join, I can literally see their soul like they're swimming up to me. This is what we gotta do then. That's what we're doing. Sometimes dreamers finally wake up. Don't wake me, I'm not dreaming. So, we're here. So, I want to reiterate, let's talk to God for a second. Well, God immediately said that he does not want me talking to you. God is sick of me being a giver. God says, all you do is give. And people take. All I've been doing is giving to takers. But then I lay down at night and I think about the people that are thinking about me. There are spirits floating around me and telling me things. I can see the faces of I can see the antagonistic, heartless, I want to say they're deluded. They're very sick, messed up individuals. And I can see that these spirits that are hovering over me, I'm talking about the spirits that are in bodies right now. Like the people that have hurt me in the past, that are still kind of just obsessing about me daily. the people that are obsessing about me daily, I can see very clearly. And what I've noticed is that the people that I speak to on a daily basis, the strangers that I see out in public, I'll strike up conversations with them. I'm like, even if they're NPCs, I want to see what comes out of their mouth. I want to see what they have to say. Most of my content was me trying to draw the Matrix out to see if they'll finally reveal itself, or if they'll play the stupid cat and mouse game for the rest of my life. Things I don't really want to talk about with you. But, well, don't wake me, I'm not dreaming. Past lives could never. Diddy's name is Sean, and his son's name is KC. I know I just bought this letter. There we go. The dreamers finally wake up. If you want to be able to use your mind in the coming days to actually be yourself and to do anything you want from life, instead of derping through as a possessed puppet for parasites, that just like mycelial networks can communicate with each other for hundreds of miles by sending electrical signals between each other and releasing pheromones into the air to encourage bugs and animals to fight, flee, fuck, eat, kill, get angry. An artificial intelligence and probably a demonic coven is doing the same exact thing to the general public. And the only way to beat it is to improve your biology. You have to evolve. And the only way to do that is with supplemental omega-3s, multivitamins, probiotics, getting out in nature, because much like the in tarot, they have like the swords. They say that you get spikes that get jabbed into you. When you go out there into public, all these things that are going on are attacking your emotional well-being. And that disrupts your networking system. Cell phones and most of the lazy people and the 5G. You know, if you sit down in a cafe and you think about something you're very hopeful about, and then a fat person sits next to you, and all of a sudden you can feel the smell just like radiating the side of your face. I don't know if that's relatable. But that's affecting your genetics. You're going to have to heal from that, and you're going to have to come back. I've spent years doing it. Isn't it weird how it could be dead silent deep in the forest all night? But then as soon as I go live, there's a car sitting right at the edge of the tree line. So I've been asking God every single day. I sit down and I look up and I ask him the same way that I drove down the road for 3 years now. And I say, if I'm on the right path, give me a bird right to left. And I'm on the wrong path, give me a bird left to right. And that's been happening so consistently. One time I followed seagulls through a city and it led me to a famous rapper. Sometimes I lose things and I follow the birds back and I find what I've lost. Sometimes the birds guide me away from car accidents or bad people. Like they know that there's a detour I'm going to have to take, and I go along the scenic route without realizing I would have had to turn around and come back, because the birds and the foxes and the skunks and the raccoons and the squirrels are guiding me through this experience, this soul's journey. So I sit down every day because I have a voice in my head that tells me I need to kill certain people for what they've done to me. And every day I get no. I get a very strong no. Very strong no every single day. And today I tried to pack up and leave and go to the next place, and an eagle flew around me. A big bald eagle. And then the eagle flew with, I was like, okay, then I'll turn around. So I went straight into town. And on the way into town, the eagle flew with me, right to left. Where the eagle took me, nobody showed up to work. Nobody showed up to work at the dollar store, and the dollar store closed down today. I went and sat by the lake, by the river that goes to the lake. And a woman came over with her dog, and the dog was screaming at me. And it was really scared, and the woman was telling me, the dog's young and hasn't really gotten around people yet. So the dog was wagging its tail and running at me and trying to like be friendly with me, but it was so scared that it was screaming at me the whole time. And the dog had a name that is one of the same set of 15 names. Every day of my life, it's just one, the people that I'm interacting with, the NPCs that come up and engage me, the strangers that I meet in different towns, they all have a set of 15 names. And those 15 names play the same exact role in the same exact story that I live like Groundhog Day in every town that I step foot into for the past 12 years that I know of. I wanted to say decade, that's why I'm scratching my nose, because I got hit by some electromagnetic torture. So I know as a 33 life path, anything I do will be the best of society. The best of the collective consciousness is given to the most advanced souls, because we're built for it. I know that I am suffering, but I'm also outshining everyone in Vermont. The kids that have beat me at hip hop, that got a following and got out of Vermont, are posting pictures with them with the black eye and the covering of the eye and the Masonic hand signals, and they're crying for help on social media, performing rituals with the hearts of the children that helped them get to that position. In the same way they were inspired to do that, to make songs called Play Dumb, I was inspired to name my Instagram Saint_Casey. And I was like, why did I choose _Casey? I thought that meant this is bottom line and then the bam of the kick drum. But what it really meant is that Casey O'Brien traveled around Vermont for 2 years while he had the Instagram Saint Casey. And he was laying down in the back of the car freezing and converting the energy of the entire state. And then the energy that he made laying down _. The next 2 years after bled through into the world. We live in a collective consciousness. So this year, and you can call it, you can go back to my content to where I tell you that I'm going to put on for Native Americans this year. And that if I did in 2023, I said, if I have the ability, if my manifestation energy is actually my gift as a 33 life path is to be this tree, and I'm the driving force to spread the wildfire, and that I chose wildfire, and that's going to trickle out through the collective, and I get to experience everything through everyone all at once, then this year I'm putting on for Native Americans. And then Sleepy Joe just apologized. Indigenous content creators like LJ Musqua, which means smelly bear, is now one of the biggest indigenous content creators, and he's selling merch across the world. Every state, every province, every territory of Canada, every continent. If you remember, I used to my album was called Black Eagle. Remember? At Vivix. I was making Black Eagle. And there was a big black eagle that would stay above me in the trees, and I remember I had to scare him away so that the robins could live. And now the second biggest indigenous content creator is Eagle Blackbird. They're saying, wake up, wake up. Now the wind is coming because I chose silent. When I get silent and I start to listen to the forest, it starts to speak to me. I'm going to take it that the reason that nobody says anything about the things that I've said is you don't believe me, you don't care, or that there's something literally retarding you, that you're impaired, or you're not real. So it's either you're not real or you're retarded. I've said some shit, or you're scared because you don't want whatever I'm going through to happen to you, which is very respectable. But I rarely find anyone that I find respectable. I find some actions that they take sometimes to be respectable, where they persevere, and for a small point in their life story, they were respectable. I rarely find people that are consistently living that. And the way that I was able to do that was through years, decades of isolation, where I could fully encapsulate a character and build my character and have him go to bat for me against the world. And through that, I developed into who I've always known that I am. This character development and these tests have given me the skills necessary to incorporate myself into the world. And if I'm a 33 life path, which I am, it means I'm never going to be obsolete. It means that every year is new. So 2024 was really cool. It was Cowboys and Indians. I was an outlaw. 2024 was Cowboys and Indians. 2022 was this kind of, there was more of the older choirs, the hymnal choirs, not gospel choirs, but the, like you'd see in a church, that intensity. And it's like a sword of light going against the darkness, the shining light. 2023 was tropical almost. It was this wild, watery world where everything was vivid, bright colors. Even the darks were bright. And 2024 was this deep gray. In 2025, how many people are watching? If I give out any sauce, 2. How are you going from Michael Bell? I'm going slowly, but faster than the speed of light. No, I'm always teetering in and out of reality. And what that doesn't mean I'm falling into schizophrenic delusion. That means that I don't fit into society anymore. And I've also learned so much that I'm kind of phasing out of existence almost. Like the vibration that my spirit has when I encapsulate so much knowledge as an 1133 named after I'm the most powerful name in Freemasonry, the most powerful birthday in Freemasonry, and the most powerful life path number in Freemasonry. That's met gods, and I've met aliens, and I've met demons, and I've probably, my only friends are probably angels, and I just live alone, and I travel through the world, and the things that I create come through content creators that happen to also have the initials KC. Like my grandfather's name was Frank, and he was from Bronx, New York. And I wound up in Burlington, Vermont in my elemental year of the cat, where I'm supposed to be in my element, and I'm the most powerful. It's kind of where what I have to offer becomes a dominating force, and my name is named after a tree. So in my year, everything that I wanted to create, because I was always pushing to be famous and it would never work. I'd get extremely traumatized, and then they'd play Hotel California, and something in the back of my mind would be like, maybe you're not supposed to go to Hotel California. Maybe they're warning you. Maybe they're very proud at how far you're persevering, but maybe you really shouldn't go into the industry. And I was like, no, I need to, because then the Kehoes will like me. Then the girls will like me. Then my mom will come to her senses. Then I'll make my dad proud. And then it never works. But that person that I became in that fight to show myself off to the world for 10 years since I was 14 and I was taken into government custody. In my year of the water cat, all the different versions of myself, I wanted to be a YouTube prankster. I just fucked around with people all day in the shelters and in the institutions. I was constantly making jokes and practicing stand-up and coming up with routines. And I had a troll account called Hugh Janus, and I wore this hat that had a checkerboard pattern on it. And then we had Kendrick Curry. I loved Brian Boru, my ancestor, and he was a huge part of this big conquering giant with this funny Irish charisma. And then Blake Backer. I was driving a Dodge Magnum, and I had a little ram with a rocket emblem on my dashboard. And now we have Casey Rocket. The way Casey Rocket riffs on stage, I can show you a video of me in Christmas years ago, like more than 7 years ago. of me riffing and running around my house on Christmas. And I'm wearing an Ireland shirt, and I'm like breaking into African and Irish accents, and I didn't realize how meaningful that was until years later. And I was riffing like Casey Rocket does. I started making country songs, and then literally I only started liking country at the end of 2023 when I heard this song called I Remember Everything. And who's that by? But Zach Bryan and Casey Musgraves. And I'm Casey O'Brien. So then that made me feel great. And then how did that come back to me? Cassius Culpepper, KC, released a song called Who Hurt You? And that made me cry out in the forest, because that was something I needed to hear and never heard from anyone, because I've been alone my whole life. I used to do pickup artistry, and I would travel because I was alone, and I'd travel to different places as an explorer. And I mostly just talked to girls, but I also had fun just like making friends. And now we have Kurt Kaz. Then I wanted to be this overarching kind of diplomatic, in the industry, halfway in and out, supporting Vermont. And I wanted to call it the KCC, the Kingdom of Creative Champions. And the Kingdom of Creative Champions didn't work out yet, or it did in its own way. But on the big screen, we had the Kelly Creative Collective, where some kid that was in institutions as well, but he's just like he's also a rich kid, dirtbag, no heart, bad content. Suddenly he's the KCC, the Kelly Creative Collective. I was in Plattsburgh, and I wound up with a Jamaican pimp named Jack. And he kind of took me in and taught me things that I probably never would have learned if I had stayed in Vermont. You know, it was a different culture, way different from small town Vermont. And so I was basically Jack's son, and then North Ave Jackson blew up, and now he's the biggest kid out of Vermont ever, because Noah Kahn was an adult by the time he blew up. And then at the end of 2023, when I left Burlington because I got a car after performing on stage to hundreds of kids. So you guys lost.